All right, guys, we're gonna get started. I'm here with Professor Roger. I'm going to introduce myself. Then I'm gonna have Professor Roger introduce himself, and then we're gonna get started. Okay. So if you guys don't know anything about me, my name is Kevin Apollinario. I've been in IT for 7 years, going into 8 years. I worked anything from IT support, desktop support, help desk. Now I work in cybersecurity. I'm also a technical trainer for Job Skillshare. And just a little bit about my background before I got into IT. I did about 12 years of restaurant experience, 4 years in the NYPD, and then I transferred over to IT using my soft skills. And I got hired my first job because of my soft skills. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell, and I'll have Roger introduce himself.
Hello. I'm Professor Roger. I've been in IT for about 20 years. I worked for Microsoft for probably about 7 of those years. I mean, I worked on Microsoft products for 20 years. I'm a Microsoft guy, but I worked directly for Microsoft, getting a Microsoft email, right, for about 7 years. I worked in multiple positions. I worked in the now they call it desktop management with SCCM. I worked with AD and server with Microsoft and helping companies build their AD. That's why I wanted to join with Kevin. And also now I work for Microsoft in cybersecurity. I'm a cybersecurity architect. And we go to the big clients, the big boys, and help them with their security posture and solutions. So that's me. Also, I run a Discord. I do what Kevin does. We both teach courses and stuff, all for free, because I want to transition as much of our people as we can into cybersecurity. So that's me. I'm on a mission just like Kev. So that's me, Kev.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thank you for introducing yourself. And also thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And hopefully, as this year progresses, we could do more collabs together.
Oh, yeah.
So with that being said, let me share my screen and we'll get started. So we're going to go to screen 2. Let me know if you guys could see my screen. Roger, can you see my screen?
Yeah, looks good.
Okay. All right. So when it comes to IT, I could just go and start I could go and just start a virtual VM, right, from scratch. The problem with that is that I need to understand fundamentals, right? Because you're gonna be like, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? So it's very important that you understand fundamentals. Sorry, Roger.
No, I was saying before you start, do a little housekeeping, show people how to use this and questions and answers, give them a little Zoom intro, because this is new to some people, this type of Zoom.
Got it. So there is a section for your questions and answers. We will answer all questions at the end of the presentation or at the end of the training. So there should be a Q&A section for chat. You can ask questions and answers. And you also have the reaction section. So you could actually raise your hand if you have a question. But those questions will be answered towards the end of the presentation or towards the end of the slide. So you could raise your hand or you could ask a question and then we will acknowledge it because I have the ability, or both of us have the ability to acknowledge it. And that's basically what it is. So you have Q&A, so those are questions and answers, and you have chat to chat with other people on the chat room. And then you also have the ability to react, to raise a hand or not raise your hand. So
yeah,
those things.
The chat is disabled.
Yes, exactly. Okay. The basic chat is disabled. We have regular chat with other people that are also watching this. It's just me and Roger have the ability to talk right now at the moment because this is the way it's set up. When it's set up as a webinar, I wouldn't want Roger and me talking, and then we have 40 people talking on top of us, right?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. So that's why it's a webinar. In a webinar, you only have the ability to chat, and that's it, and react. Literally, that's all you have. And if I make you a panelist, then it gives you the ability to talk. but you're not, no one here is a panelist right now. It's just me and Roger. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone and you, Roger.
Yes, that's cool.
Yeah, so I want to keep it like, I don't want to make this too long either because I want to bore everyone to death. This is how I teach, but like I said, let me go over the slide and we'll go over some virtualization as well. And then Roger, you could add your intake into this as we're going over it. Up to you if you want to, but yeah, that would be awesome. So today we're going to talk about Windows operating systems, and we're going to talk about virtualization and setting up Active Directory from scratch using a VM. And there are several ways to do that. I'm just going to go over the basic way of doing it, but today let's go over Windows 10 right now. So understanding Windows 10, when we talk about Windows 10, you talk about operating systems, right? So the operating systems are very important. Understanding what an operating system is, basically it runs an application, everything on your PC, whether you have a Mac, you're a Windows user, a Mac user, an Android user, an iOS user. Every computer has an operating system. Every mobile device has an operating system. Everything has an operating system. That it needs hardware for that, obviously, right? So this is why I'm very like, I always, and Roger, you could quote me or correct me if I'm wrong, but I always go and talk about fundamentals, and I always talk about like CompTIA A+, because the CompTIA A+ covers fundamentals, and I wouldn't want you to get lost as far as, learning fundamentals is concerned. You will get lost if you don't know what you're doing, or if you don't know what the basics of fundamentals is, right? That's why I always urge people to learn fundamentals first, either having some sort of understanding, you taking A+, or taking something else like the Google IT support certification. That also covers fundamentals as well. And also we have the ITF certification. So those three certifications would make you well-rounded. So some people take ITF certification and then they go and take the A+. Some people take the Google IT support certification and then they take the A+, and then they learn fundamentals that way. So I don't know, Roger, if you want to add anything to that, but that's very important.
Yeah, I would say if you want to be IT support like Kevin, right? Or like how Kevin used to be. I think Kevin, you're in the cybersecurity now, right?
Yep.
You're on the dark side now.
Dark side.
Right?
Yeah.
But for all you guys getting into IT, I mean getting into what is called support desk or service desk. A+ is a great exam to teach you I guess the fundamentals, which is very important in IT and support. A couple of reasons why you want A+, and I'm not a cert pusher, right? If you didn't need these certs, I wouldn't even bring it up. But there's a couple of reasons why you need it. The government is mandatory. If you get a government job in their help desk, it's mandatory you have an A+. And Network Plus. If you look, there's a directive. I'll send a link of all the mandatory certs you need to get a government job. So it doesn't even mean if you qualified. If me and Kevin didn't have A+, we would not be working in the government. That's just how government is. Everybody knows that government is strict. Another reason is because of that, a lot of private companies also require that, because either they're doing work with the government or they was influenced by the government. So it's good to get that exam, so that way you don't need that exam to get a job, but you close a lot of doors if you don't have it. All right. Another good exam that just came out is the Google IT support exam. It's kind of like A+, but it's more on a service desk, customer service side centric than hardware centric. So those are the two that you can look at. They look good on your resume. Everybody respects Google. Everybody respects CompTIA in the industry. So look at those two certs when you're going in.
Yep, I agree with you 100%. It goes back to fundamentals, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Professor Roger, but like it makes it so much easier when you go into cybersecurity when you know what you're doing in fundamentals.
Oh yes, definitely 100%.
You get lost.
Yeah.
And then like before we go into the next slide, like cybersecurity has over 40 jobs. So there's just like so many jobs in cybersecurity. And some of the jobs don't even require you to know about Active Directory. Some of them are like GRC, government risk and compliance. Like they don't even require you to have certain skills, but it's always good to understand fundamentals. Very important.
Yes, very important.
All right. So, and you're like, why am I covering Windows 10? I'm covering Windows 10 because you probably have a Windows 10 operating system or Windows 11 operating system. So it's very important that you understand the fundamentals, right? So I always talk about this is like I made this slide a year ago, but it's important that it's the understanding the operating systems and the processes with 32-bit, 64-bit, especially when you work for a job, and you have to understand that computers they run 64-bit or 32-bit agriculture with the motherboard. We also understand that applications themselves run 64-bit and 32-bit. And I'm talking about specifically, like if you're IT support, you need to understand how that works because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Professor Roger, but if you only have 32-bit operating system, it only supports 4 gigs of RAM. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that is important. Understand that. Very important to understand that.
I hope no one has a 32-bit processor. And this is the problem.
Yeah.
Kev, I just want to say something about a lab. This is the problem on the Windows side, right? People think that they could just go to some thrift store, get an old computer, and set up a lab. Some people are told that. On the Linux side, okay, that could make sense, right? Because the Linux OS could be stripped down to where it can work on a 32-bit processor. But on the Windows side, no, you need to have 64-bit, and now today with Windows 10 and going to Windows 11, you need a processor that's probably 3 to 5 years, can't be no older than 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, on the Windows side, you're going to have to keep your machines up to at least 5 years old, right? But if you're going to use them for Linux, yeah, you could pick an old machine, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it's very important. And for me, like, this is just me. It's just I don't want to have a computer that's only 8 gigs of RAM. For me, that's too little. Especially if you're trying to run VMs, you need more than that.
Yes.
So
you need 16 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
8 gigs is a good start. You could get 2 machines. So you could set up a domain controller and you could set up a desktop. That's good to start. But to have a good lab, you need about 4 or 5 machines. If you go into cybersecurity, you need at least 4 or 5 machines, like a Kali Linux. You need a Linux box. You need about 5 good machines for a lab. So imagine each machine has about 4 gigs. So you need about 16 gigs at least, to a minimum, to have a good lab in VM.
Yep. Like for me, if you're doing IT support, like I said, you just need 2 VMs. That's it. You have a server, and then you have a computer joined to the domain, and you just play around with it and just break the living hell out of it. So like I'm talking about, like someone logs in, they get locked out. You unlock their account, you reset their password, you create a group policy, and all that good stuff. So just 2 VMs is good enough for IT support. For hacking and cybersecurity, you're gonna need more than that. So, yeah. But let me go to the next slide real quick. And this is why I talk about A+, like fundamentals, right? Roger, this is very important. I'm gonna go to the next slide. You're gonna be like, oh, okay, Kev, that makes sense. Like this slide right here. Look at this slide. So this is why I stress the living hell out of learning fundamentals, because there's a difference between having a Windows machine or Windows 10 Pro, Windows 10 Home, then there's Windows 10 Enterprise. It gets complicated, right? So certain operating systems cannot do certain things, right? So it's extremely important that you understand the operating systems, if that makes sense.
Yes. And working on a Windows Home will not get you a job. So you got to make sure you get a Windows 10 Pro and you get familiar with group policy. Like every place where it says no for Windows Home, you need to know that for the job. Right? So it says domain join, group policy management, BitLocker, remote desktop, device guard. You need to know that at the interview. If I ask you about group policy, I'm a hiring manager at Microsoft. If I ask you for group policy and you don't know it, you're not getting hired. I don't care. So this is very important. You understand these fundamentals, right? So make sure you go to the Microsoft site. They have demo software about 6 months. You could, well, I think it's 90 days with Windows 10, but you can always wipe it out and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
You have 90 days with a Windows 10 license. So you want to get a Windows 10 Pro so you can work on it. If you're in school, there's Windows 10 Education that schools provide where you could work on it. That's the equivalent of Windows 10 Enterprise, which is one step higher.
Yep. It's always important to understand that's why I talk about fundamentals. Like, it drives me crazy because Roger, I know that's if it's just you, but it happens to me a lot. And I have people that I work with. Oh, I have Windows 10 Home. I'm trying to set up a home lab. You know.
Yes.
And I'm like, why aren't you using Pro? Yeah, but let me go to the next slide. So understanding hardware, like, again, this is fundamentals. I know that some jobs you may not need to know hardware, but it's extremely important you understand how that works, especially if you work as a field technician, a PC tech, or you work IT support. In some jobs, you may be required to change computer parts, especially if the company is very cheap. It's just how it is. You know, some companies you may need to know about memory, CPU, hard drive, user input, motherboard, graphics cards, stuff like that. So it's very important that you understand how hardware works. And I'm gonna show you a screenshot of memory. I'm gonna show you a screenshot of certain PC parts, just so you get like an image on your head. So you could save that image in the back of your head. So if you see it in your actual job, oh, okay, I know what that is, right? So as far as memory is concerned, this is memory RAM, and RAM is random access memory. And there is also SODIMM, and that's like memory for a laptop, right? So there are different types of memory. I'm not gonna go over today different types of memory because you're gonna be like, it's gonna go over your head, right? But you should understand how memory works. I don't know if Roger, you want to add anything to that, but it's very important. Memory is super duper important.
Oh yeah, no, right.
Yeah, as far as memory is concerned, that's what I talk about. Make sure you have enough memory on your computer. And the other thing is that I forgot to mention, I think we both forgot to mention, is that your motherboard only supports a certain amount of memory. So you want to make sure you have a motherboard that supports a lot of memory. So some motherboards only support 8 gigs of RAM, and then you cannot upgrade it after that. So you really need to do your homework, right? And really make sure that your computer is able to be upgraded to more memory, if that makes sense. Very important. The other thing is obviously your CPU, and your CPU is your central processing unit. That's also important as far as that's like the brain of the computer, if that makes sense. A few other things is also part of the brain of the computer, but this is very important. The other aspect of it is, Roger, I'm not sure if this happens to you, but people confuse this with memory. So people confuse hard drives with memory. These are two different things.
I can see now two reasons. One, they market it that way, right? So when you buy these low end, like a Google Chrome, they're going to market it in a way where it looks like it has 32 gigs of memory. You know, slick marketing way where it looks like it's a big machine than what it is, right? Because today's solid state is technically it's memory, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as fast as RAM, of course. But technically it is memory. So when you look at these low-end desktops, I call them disposable laptops, right? That they try to get people to buy for their kids and Google Chromes and stuff like that. If you look at the marketing, and you wouldn't know, it seems like you're getting 32 gigs of memory. So, that's one reason why people are confused.
No, that makes sense. And this is the top one is a regular disk platter hard drive, and then the bottom one is obviously a SATA SSD solid state drive. So these two are different. Like, and I tell people, like, if you're brand new to IT and you, say for example you're helping your mom and dad with their computer, and they have a regular hard drive, replacing it with an SSD will make it so much faster, and also upgrading it with more memory as well. So like if you have a computer that's a few years old and it needs like a remake or remodel, you could actually upgrade the computer by adding an SSD or by adding more memory to it. And that will actually make it a lot faster. So that computer you have at home is probably not trash. You could probably still upgrade it. So just you could do some homework on that if that makes sense.
Right. But remember, some of these parts, they have special connectors that might not be on your motherboard anymore. I mean, it might not be on your motherboard because your motherboard is too old. So just take that in mind.
Yep. And then this is I put a picture of this because this is like the common graphics card I have seen in my jobs being in IT support.
Wow, this is a good graphics card. It got 4 monitors.
Yep.
This is common to you? Whoa.
Yeah, it's common to me because I worked in a hedge fund, and that's where they buy. They buy like the top end stuff.
Hell yeah, this is at least $600-700.
Yep. So this is what I'm used to seeing. But if you go in another environment, you only see like one monitor.
Yeah.
One slot, one
2,
monitor.
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2, exactly. Yeah. So this is a graphics card. Anyone's watching this on my screen, like, what is that? That's a graphics card. So this actually what controls the display on your computer, your monitor computer, or your monitor, just so you don't get confused. Roger, is funny because like I gave someone 2 monitors, they thought they had 2 computers. Like, no, it's 2 monitors. These are 2 separate things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, this is a graphics card. You will see different types of graphics card depending on your job environment. And you may be required to replace your graphics card if you're a hardware tech or a PC tech, or if you work at Best Buy, I guess. But yeah, it's good to understand fundamentals, right? This is very important as well. So that's why I have to put some sort of graphics card picture here, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Roger, but it's good to know.
Oh yeah, well, I want to brag a little. I got six. You see this card is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors. I have 6.
Nice.
Because I wanted to be sword. I saw the movie Swordfish, and I wanted that setup. If anybody ever saw that movie with John Travolta and Halle Berry.
Yeah, you wanted to be Batman, is what you're basically saying. Makes sense. And then this is the other one that's important. The motherboard, right?
Yeah.
So like the motherboard is super duper important. Like, you look at this right here, the CMOS battery, and I can make a whole video on a CMOS battery.
Oh yeah.
Because like if you guys don't know about the CMOS battery, it controls the date and time, right? And if your date and time is incorrect, and I'm talking about like back then, not now. They fixed it now, but back then, if your date and time is incorrect on Windows 7, you cannot browse a network. Not sure if you ever tried that, Roger, but you cannot browse a network. The date and time is messed up.
Yeah, you can't even log in.
Yeah. So the CMOS battery controls the date and time. It does a few other things as well, but the date and time is important. So like if Roger, you correct me if I'm wrong. If you log into a computer, you adjust the date and time. Tomorrow you log in again, you adjust the date and time. The following day you adjust it again, you adjust the date and time. There's something wrong with the CMOS battery or something wrong with the motherboard. One or the other, like that's not normal, right?
Right.
You shouldn't have to adjust the date and time every single day. That's crazy, right? So understanding the basic stuff, right? And then this is old school right here, Roger. The blue,
this is old.
the input, the output, the audio sound connectors. Man, it's old school. And then this is also old school right here, Roger. The PS2 keyboard and mouse.
Yep, PS2. Yeah.
Very, very old school. But I always like to bring fundamentals and throwbacks, to my conversation.
Oh, okay.
Just so people remember the past. It's good to know your history because you want to always keep that in mind when you're going into the future.
Well, let me tell everybody here, old school is only good for sneakers. Okay. like retro Jordans and all that stuff, but it's not good for technology.
Yes. At some point everything gets obsolete. Just happens. So go to the next slide. And this is understanding like the user input, computer output. I got a screenshot of this. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. So this is very important, like understanding the operating system, how it works, the user interface, the central processing unit, and stuff like that. You don't gotta know everything, at the end of the day, just know fundamentals, right? You don't gotta know everything. Like people think, oh, I gotta know everything. No. You just learn the fundamentals. That's it. Don't be all over the place, right? Very important. Very, very important. And obviously I already went over memory. I went over random access memory, and the more memory you have on your the memory is like okay, it's like, okay, let me open up this application, and then it's there was a meme that I posted today on Twitter, Roger. And it was when you press Chrome 16 times and it opens up 16 times in a row with a delay because your memory is bad.
Yes, I have that problem now with Chrome.
Yeah. So like memory is very important. Like it plays a part of how many things you can open at the same time. It's very vital to having a computer with good memory. And I'm going to go to the next slide. And obviously, CPU is also important, the central processing unit. And I haven't even gone over how to create a VM yet because I want you guys to understand fundamentals, right? Because I could go here and set up a VM from scratch, but if you don't know fundamentals, you're not gonna understand what I'm doing. It's very important. And then there's other thing, Roger, you already know about this. There's always a clash with AMD and Intel, like which one is better, right? They fight each other a lot, It's always a clash. So it's like in AMD and Intel, and then there's also Intel and NVIDIA, right?
Yeah.
Clash, like who's better? I'm better. No, my stuff is better. When you're trying to pick out what card you should buy or what CPU you should buy. There's always a constant clash over here. So this is very important, understanding what CPU is, understanding about AMD and Intel, stuff like that. Go to this slide, understanding hard drives. Remember we talked about like this is the data that's stored on your computer. That's very important. And learning the difference between an SSD and a hard drive. So that's another thing that's important. And then the graphics card. Remember I went over the graphics card. There is some graphics cards, and Roger, you correct me if I'm wrong, there are some graphics cards that are integrated that you cannot replace at all. It's like chipped in. It's embedded. So you can't even replace it.
Yeah.
It sucks. But yeah, that's just some laptops are like that. So that. Sometimes laptops you cannot replace the graphics card. So that would be the end for my slideshow. I would love to, I'm gonna stop sharing, right? I would love, before we go into creating a VM, Roger, do you want to answer some questions or do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I can answer some questions. Anybody has questions? Really, I see a lot of people asking questions about certs and degrees. What me and Kevin could do is maybe at the end have a little set, talk about that a little. I don't want to go off topic.
Yeah.
Because that's a rabbit hole we could go down. So
yeah, I see here. Looking at the questions. Hi, Professor Roger. I did CompTIA Plus 2019, Core 1, Core 2, currently studying a Bachelor's of Commerce in Information Technology Management. Just want to know, is there any course I can do?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Those questions we could answer at the end. We'll have a little session where we'll go over that because I see everybody has questions on that. I don't want
Okay.
to take it off top, off what we're talking about.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. And we're going to go to screen uno or screen one, as they say, and screen uno, as they say in Espanol and in Spanish. I'm not sure if you speak Spanish, Roger, but maybe a little bit.
Only
Poquito.
New York bodega Spanish.
New York bodega, like me, because I'm from New York.
Hey.
That's funny. Yeah. So here is Oracle VirtualBox. I have it open right here.
Yes.
This is my go-to, by the way, for anyone that's trying to create a VM, because I like VMware better, but VMware is way more complicated for someone brand new.
No, it's not. And then also it's proprietary. That means that VMware could pull away free anytime they want, right? Because there's a difference between free and open source. Open source means it'll always have no cost, right? Free means that there is a cost, but you're not paying for it right now, right? Like these free trials you see, 3 months free, right? So, but open source will always be free. That's why I like VirtualBox when you're setting up a lab. VMware is really for business. I recommend it for business because they'll pay for the licensing and that. But VirtualBox is for people like us. It's like techs that want to set up their own home lab.
Yeah, the only time I recommend you use VMware is if you're applying for a job and they're asking for VMware experience.
Oh yeah.
And you go and sign up for a lab, and I think you get a 60-day trial with a product key. That's the only time I recommend it, and then you can add that experience to your resume if that makes sense. So that's what I would do if it was me. Let me see if I have the right.
Exactly.
So we have this thing called ISO.
Yes.
So ISO is like think of it as, and Roger, like, we're gonna go back in time with our ages, right? So think of it as you pop a CD to a computer. That's what like an ISO is. It's a CD. You see the CD right here I'm pointing at? It's a CD. So I'm gonna pop that over to a VM. So I'm not sure, Roger, you want to add anything, but basically that's what an ISO is. It's like you're installing the CD
right
on a VM. So
okay. Let me ask you this. In the webinar, how many people have a VM set up? How can they do this? Can we do a poll or something?
Yes, we can.
We got about 50 people in the room or so.
You could definitely do a poll.
Yeah, we got 63 people in the room. Kevin, 63. That's good. Bro.
Good.
The only time I see 63 people in one room is on Thanksgiving when they're on my grandma's house.
Give me a second. Save. I'm gonna launch a poll right now. How many people have a VM? Please answer yes or no.
Yeah, no, have VirtualBox installed, set up. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good enough. Let's see the poll. It's going through right now. It's
All
going
right.
really fast. Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
See. We will answer questions at the end of the session. If you guys are raising your hand, just we'll answer the question at the end. All right, we have 52 out of 61.
Yeah.
Answering the poll. How many people have a VM? Please answer yes or no. It's like half and half, Roger.
Oh, okay. Cool. So on my Discord, I have a whole step-by-step guide on how to set up VirtualBox. I even start, Kevin, with hardware requirements. How to scan your machine to make sure you know how much memory you have, how much hard drive space you have. Just because you have a good hard drive, that don't mean you have enough hard drive space. So You could go to my Discord. I'll put my link back.
Yeah,
in.
throw it in chat. Throw it in
Yeah,
chat.
I'll throw it in the chat for everybody. I'm going to throw my link tree so that way you could click on all the links instead of doing it one by one. And then you could click on that and you could see that. So on my Discord, I don't know, Kevin, if you want to show them where it's at.
Yeah, I have my screen open. I'm still sharing my screen. So I'm on 48 different Discords, by the way. So
mine is right there. Yeah. If you go to Home Lab, I have a Home Lab section. And this is now people could, after this class, they could go and do it. Yeah, Home Lab setup. That, see, Kev, step by step. All pictures. I love pictures.
you have a link you could share?
Yeah, I put the link tree there and my Discord is in there.
Okay, good. So yeah, so there's a Home Lab setup. I'm on their Discord, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin's.
I'm all over the place. So
yeah, I appreciate you, Kevin, man. You always contribute.
Thanks, man.
Step by step.
Yep.
Is that good, Kev?
No, that's good. That's good. So everyone could follow along if they needed questions and answers. This is good. This works.
Yeah. So after this session, if you don't have, for the half of the people that don't have Virtualbox set up, you could go to my Discord and do it step by step.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I see 47% don't have. So
yeah, that makes sense. For today, I want to show you guys, and he has a step by step on his on the Discord. And obviously, if you guys need help, like I think you guys go on Voice every once in a while, right? You do webinars and stuff like that too for Security Plus.
who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do Security Plus training, right? Did you do Security Plus training?
Yep.
I know I'm not crazy.
No, I do Tech Plus, and yeah.
Yeah, you do that as well. We'll talk about that after this. I want to make this video. I don't want to make this too long, so let me set up a VM, okay?
Yeah.
So here is I already installed VirtualBox. Like I don't want to go over it, but I need to go over it. Like if you go here and you type VirtualBox, right, and you go to Oracle VirtualBox, and you go to downloads, literally right here is where you would download it. And Roger put his Discord, so you could go over it with him, and actually we'll go over it together. Like if you guys don't mind, like maybe next week or today or sometime this week, we'll go over it together and probably do one on Discord. Roger, if you want to host a webinar or a Discord training.
Okay.
A separate one. We're helping people create VMs and stuff like that. We could do that.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, so you need to download this and Windows ISO Server 2019. I have 2016, but entirely up to you. It's right here. So literally you click on it and it will make you download it. So I already have these two things downloaded. These are like the requirements, right? And Roger, and I don't want to show off my computer, but I'm going to show it off. If you do the task manager, right? You go to performance, look at my CPU, look at my memory, look at everything I have here. 64 gigs of RAM and 4.8 gigahertz.
Woo! Look at you.
Yeah, so I have 12 cores. Right? So
you got a Ryzen 9. Oh,
yes,
I see you.
Yeah, so I won't have an issue creating a VM. For other people, you may have an issue. So I have to go into Roger, if you don't mind, like on your Discord, I have to show people how to make a home lab using cloud. Do you have that?
Oh, using cloud?
Yeah.
No. You mean like AWS or Azure?
Azure, yeah. How to do it on Azure for free.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Because I have videos on YouTube on that. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, good.
All right. So you guys don't get confused with this. Like here is, you want to create a new VM, right? So I have VirtualBox open. You hit new. The name, you can call it whatever you want. For today, I'm gonna call it server 2016. Just for fun, I'm gonna call it Roger,
Yeah.
because I have Roger here with me today, and it's just
Why are you doing 2016, if you don't mind me asking?
based on my experience, a lot of
Oh,
people still on 2016.
yeah. No, a lot of companies are on 20. Yes, I can tell you that from statistics.
Yeah, that's why. And then this is the memory, and this is where it gets confusing for a lot of people, right? When we talk about memory, this is going to be stealing memory from your computer, right? So what does that mean, right? Like I have 64 gigs of RAM, so I'm going to give a certain amount of memory to this app, to this particular VM. So with me, because I have a super fast computer, I'm going to put 8. The minimum requirement, I believe, is 4 gigs of RAM for a server, right? Roger, is that right?
For virtual, yeah. I mean, for what we're doing, yeah. And production, no.
Yeah, in production, no.
Yeah.
Production, you're gonna have a bunch of problems in production. So
Oh, you're gonna be fired if it's production.
yeah. So here, right here, you're gonna get like this random thing here. There's like no bootable device, whatever, right? There's nothing here, right? So I have to tell it where to install or boot from, right? So there's a CD icon right here. And if I do choose disk file, I downloaded a bunch of stuff already here, as you can see, right? Go to desktop. We have server 2016 right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna reset, and it should boot up now to that. And you'll have like the server 2016 menu right here. If you want to change the language, you can. You have the keyboard. So I'm gonna hit next. Obviously, we're not repairing anything because we haven't installed anything. So we're gonna hit install now. This is where it gets confusing for everyone because Roger, correct me if I'm wrong. If you install this one, there's no GUI, there's nothing. It's just like a black box, right?
No, that's the yeah, right. That one there. Yeah.
And then desktop experience has the start menu and everything,
Yeah,
right?
that's the GUI. Yeah.
Yep. So you gotta like be careful with what you pick because only having like a black box.
Not good.
Yeah, it's no bueno, as they say in Spanish, right?
Oh, no bueno.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hit next for this one. And Roger, me and Roger, nobody reads the terms of agreement, so I'm gonna hit next.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not upgrading anything, so we're gonna do install Windows only. And it looks like there's no hard drive here. Look, you see this already. I'm having an issue already right away. I have to add hard drive space. So I'm gonna quit this for a second, right? I'm gonna see if I shut down my VM actually. You see something here. I gotta shut it down.
Oh, you got it down.
Yeah, because there's no memory on it. I mean, there's no hard drive space on it.
Oh,
So,
see, yep, that's what I was talking about.
yep. So this is storage, right? Give me a second. There we go. There we go. There we go. And start it again. But like for me, it's easy for me to fix the problem, but for someone brand new, they'll be lost, Like, what is this, right? You have to make sure you add you have to make sure you had a hard drive space on it. If not, it's not gonna work. You're gonna have blank. You're gonna have like nothing there, if that makes sense. So it's important that you guys, follow the steps. See, now it's there. See, I'm gonna hit next. I'm just gonna install it like that. I'm not gonna make any partitions or anything. So, and if you have a fast computer, it installs it pretty fast, actually. For me, it takes like a couple of minutes. It doesn't take that long. So,
Aaron asks, can you show Can you show the network adapter settings after installing the VMs? A big thing we always see in Discord is people forgetting to make those changes. Yep, exactly. And then
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Do you have something like that on Discord, like the network adapter settings?
yeah. Mhm.
You do. Okay.
I go through that too.
Okay. Good. 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 Today, I'm just gonna set up Active Directory, right? Nothing crazy, just Active Directory. But I do want to go over some little things first before we do that. Setting up Active Directory for someone brand new to IT, it could be overwhelming, right? Especially if you're new, right? It's like, when I think about Active Directory, I think of it as a phone book, Roger. What do you think? I think of it as a phone book
Yeah.
of contacts and people and resources and stuff like that. And the other thing with Active Directory, when you set up Active Directory, as far as computers are concerned, right? I think of a computer joined to the domain. It's not the same as when you go to Best Buy and buy a brand new computer, right?
Yep.
That computer is not managed by your IT department. It's just a regular computer. When you join it to the domain, then it becomes something else. Then you actually can manage it with Active Directory or your domain controller. So it's very important to understand how that works, because some people confuse a computer that's not in a domain versus a computer that's joined to the domain. These are two different things, right? So it's not the same thing, separate. So that's why it's very important to understand that stuff, because you can't really do group policy on a computer that's not on the domain. I mean, you can do it locally, but it's not recommended. So it's very important that you understand how this stuff works.
Exactly.
It's pretty fast. It's not.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, because you got 12 cores.
Yes. Let's restart it. And I'm going to remove the CD.
A couple of people saying, a couple of people say they have VMbox, they have VMware. He has, I think he means, I don't know if he's saying Virtualbox or VM, but he said Ryan says he has VM or Virtualbox installed, but he doesn't have a virtual OS. And Ryan, after this, if you go to my Discord, I show you step by step how to install a virtual server, right? A VM is called.
I have VM installed whenever install virtual OS. Got it, right? Got it. Yeah, so this is the easy part right here. This is just create a password to log in, right? You have to create an account password here. Should let you typed it too fast.
And we have people anonymously sending questions. Guys, it's just me and Kev. So you could, this is not a sales seminar. We're not selling you, toilet paper or whatever. So please put your name so that way we know who you are and we can get familiar with everybody.
I thought you were selling me pizza, Roger.
Yeah, I'm selling you timeshare.
Yeah, so this is like fairly quick. It's almost done.
Yep, you could run, well, I'm answering a question here. You could run VMware or VirtualBox on a Mac OS. They have a Mac version. Just make sure you download the Mac version though.
Yep, that is correct. If on Mac is a little like the layout is a little different, but you can still do it on a Mac. The layout is different, but you can still do it.
Right. It's different than what you will see in Kevin's demo, but it's still the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, for someone someone brand new, like watching this for the first time, it's gonna be overwhelming because you have server manager, and then server manager itself has a lot of stuff on it, right? I'm not gonna go over. I just want to go over the basic stuff today, and then we'll do another webinar and talk about more stuff in advance later on. Because I don't want you getting lost. You're gonna get lost if I cover the other stuff. But Roger can correct me if I'm wrong. The first thing I do when I have a server, like I just set up a server, right? Literally the first thing I do, as far as a server is concerned, is change the name of the server.
Okay. Now, Kev, let's do it all through Server Manager, so that way people can follow you. Okay. Yeah, if you do everything in Server Manager, it'll make it easy for them. Right. So you want to change the name? Go to local server. There you go. And just click on the name.
That works.
Yeah. I know it. I know you old school.
Oh yeah, I'm old school. I'm old school. So this is where it gets complicated for everyone as far as servers are concerned. Roger, you correct me if I'm wrong. Depending on the environment and where you live, you will see a name like this, like, and this is my naming convention, Roger. You can call it whatever you want, but typically, if you work in a job environment, you'll see like NYCDC because it's based in New York, right? Like New York Domain Controller, or it would be CHG, or it would be CALI, like California, right?
Right.
So like some companies, this is just, you could correct me if I'm wrong, Roger. Some companies, they put a naming convention here just so you know where the domain controller is located.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna just rename it as NYC-01, just for fun today, and I'm gonna hit OK. And usually when you change the name on a server or you change the name on a computer, it forces you to restart. So, but yes, Roger, you are right. I am very old school. Yes.
Yeah, man, you got to get with 3.0, man.
No, I'm 9.0 AOL, man. 9.0 AOL. So
You got to get Web 3.0.
Yeah, I'm sure at some point, I will be doing a webinar with Roger on his end. You know, at some point, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be showing up on your sessions as well. So.
Oh, great. I love that.
Yeah. So, I know there's like other stuff we could set up. I'm gonna leave it alone for now. I just want to set up Active Directory, to be honest with you, because I don't want to make this session too long. So, and you guys have any questions, you guys can come to Discord. Discord is free, right? So please take advantage of Discord.
Yeah.
Very important.
Free, and most of the techies are in Discord because we're gamers. That's why we gravitated to Discord and Twitch, because we're on there anyway playing video games. So
That is true. That is true. So let me get out of this again. So what I'm doing right now, and you guys are wondering, what is he doing? I'm going to add roles and features, and this gets complicated because if I hit next, and I'm gonna do role-based features installation, right? And I'm gonna set up here, right? It gets complicated. You see all this stuff here, Roger? There's all this stuff.
yes.
Oh my goodness, it's so much, right?
Yes, it is. And rightfully so, because for you to be on here, you should be an experienced engineer or technician. So so this what you're learning today is extremely good knowledge. All right. He's showing you how to set this up from scratch. Most of the times you will walk into companies and this is already set up by their server engineers, right?
That is correct.
So as a newbie, you don't even see the back end. So this is a good lesson.
Yeah, and this is one of the I'm setting up Active Directory. So I clicked Active Directory domain services, and for you guys that are watching, like, this is something good to have as knowledge a couple of reasons why it's good to have his knowledge. One is you're learning Active Directory, right? That's number one. Number two is you could add it to your resume. So if you know how to set up Active Directory, you can add it to your resume. Number three is you could talk about it when you go to a job interview. So that's my experience, Roger. I'm not sure if you want to add anything to that, but that's my experience.
No, yes, most definitely. If if I was hiring for tech support and you said you know how to not only how to work with Active Directory, and I ask you, well, how do you have experience in Active Directory and you have no work experience? Oh, well, I have a home lab and I have 3-4 machines and I set up Active Directory and users and groups. And I'm like, wow, that's impressive. And you definitely be a higher priority than the other people. So having a home lab in IT is equivalent to work experience.
Exactly.
Just know that, guys. Because everything he's doing here is what we would do in the field. So it's not like he's working on a scaled down demo. He's working on the actual operating system that we work on in the field. And he's clicking on actual configurations that we do in the field.
Exactly. So now, like, this gets complicated because you promote the server domain controller, right? And this is, Roger, you correct me if I'm wrong. Depending on the company, you may have multiple domain controllers and multiple foruses, right? If you work for a big company, you may have a drop down with multiple domain controllers. I'm not sure if you ever, because I worked in an MSP, Roger. So for me is we have multiple domain controllers.
Oh, yeah.
In some companies, you may just only have one. So it really depends on the company, right?
Well, unfortunately, I hope you don't. I hope no company only has one, but but I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, like I worked in one company and they had like 2-3 domain controllers. That's it. Then I worked in another company that they had a drop down of multiple domain controllers because they just merged with other companies. So sometimes in a company you will have a merger where a company buys out another company and then you have multiple domain controllers. And you correct me if I'm wrong, Roger, that's where it gets complicated because then you go and reset the password or unlock someone's account. If you're in the wrong domain controller, you can't really do anything.
Yep. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so that's something that I'm going to call it as Kevtech, Kevtech.com. Actually, .org, actually.
Kevtech.org, that's a website you should go to.
And then here is, and this is very important. So what, Roger, and I think you know what this is. How important is this, a DSRM?
Yes, this is important. If your Active Directory goes down, right, crashes, you will need this password he's typing in because the original password won't work. So you will need that local password to be able to log into your AD and fix whatever problems there is.
Exactly. And I hope that doesn't happen to you. I hope it doesn't happen to anybody.
All the time.
Oh my goodness, it's terrible.
And unfortunately, companies don't have that set up. That little thing you did, they don't. So that's why Microsoft makes it mandatory now.
Yep. So with me, it's just really easy. I'm just setting it up right now. I'm getting ready to install it. It's doing this is like the pre-checkout, just to make sure you have the green check mark. Make sure it's okay to install it and set it up. You'll get all these weird error messages, which is fine, but you could still install it. So
yeah, well, it's not really errors, it's warnings.
Just warnings, yeah, it's warnings. Like, okay, don't do this, don't do that. I need this, I need that on the computer. But setting up Active Directory is very easy. You just saw how I set it up and installed it. You don't got to be a wizard for this. It's just a matter of installing it and setting it up. So I'm waiting for this to install, and once this is done, I want to show you Active Directory, the domain controller. It's going to prompt you to restart. It's doing that right now with me. It's going to restart. But I just want to show you Active Directory once it's done, and then we'll call it a day after that, Rogers. I don't want to keep these guys in here too long, if that makes sense.
Cool, cool.
And we'll answer some questions too after that. So
Yeah, I earmarked some so we could answer. I'm gonna answer some while we're here.
yeah, this takes a while, guys. So yeah, you should probably answer some of the questions.
Okay, cool. So let me go up. There's a question here. First question is by El Haji. I hope I'm saying his name right. El Haji. He says, what is the objective of this class? I thought that was cool. So yeah, you want to answer that? What is the objective of this course you're teaching?
So today today we went over fundamentals Windows 10 operating system, and also we went over how to set up a home lab using Virtualbox and setting up Server 2016 and Active Directory. That's basically what it is, and the purpose of it is learning how to set up your own VM. So then you have something you could start from. Then you could learn and build on that, and you could add that experience to your resume, and you could start applying for jobs.
Okay, that's a lofty purpose.
Yep.
Very good. Okay, another question is, how can we get AD Lab hands and learn it from the baseline? Right, and is knowing the fundamentals of IT mandatory? Nothing is mandatory in this world except, I guess, taxes in America, right? But knowing the fundamentals is you can't get a job without it. Not a career. You probably could get a job. There's a lot of jobs out there, but you won't have a career in IT without knowing the fundamentals. All right. So again, what Kevin is teaching is very critical to your success in IT. Another question, what is the purpose of AD?
Good question.
Right? Simple. I'll keep it in layman's term. The purpose of AD is to make sure that only your employees access your resources. Right? So it's called authentication and authorization. And so I have files, I have printers, I have PCs, I have all this, and I only want authorized people, my employees, to access my internal corporate resources. How can I do that safely and securely? By building a directory, and each employee will have a user account. You're going to see all that once he logs in. Each employee gets a user account, one for one, and then that user account, I put permissions on what resources that user account can access. So that's the purpose of Active Directory. Before Active Directory, how did we do it? We give everybody administrator username and password and let them go wild. And obviously you see the ramifications of that today. So, now today we're more secure, right? And each user has their own account and we put their own level of access. It's called access control. Somebody in the chat mentioned IAM. That's what it's called today. Identity.
Access management.
Yes. Very good.
Yeah, and that's what I work in, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. Kev went from Helpdesk to IAM. You're an engineer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man. That's a great move up.
And I really enjoy it because I get to see the computers, what they're doing. Basically, we will audit the living hell out of you. So as far as audits are concerned, it's extremely important that you don't have admin rights on your computer. This is why we have limited access. Unless Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, unless you're like a software developer, they may have temporary admin rights.
Yeah.
Other than that, you will, it's not ideal for a CEO to have admin rights. It doesn't make any sense, right? That's the reason why we give out certain access to certain people for certain things. We don't want to give them full admin rights because who knows who might attack your network, and God forbid they get access to your computer, then you're in trouble after that. So
it happens all the time.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, I can name 100 recent hacks that they got in because of poorly managed user accounts.
Yeah, and that's where you will see you will see everyone use like a third party tool like Roger, like Splunk or Varonis or some sort of third party tool to track what people are doing on their computer and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
obviously there's a protection reason for that. Obviously we have these third party tools to protect the user and protect the people that are I guess are using the systems. But also the other important thing, Roger, that I talk about all the time is you can have all the bells and whistles, but if you don't have proper social engineering education, you're gonna be in a world of trouble.
right.
I have a lot of issues. So education in cybersecurity is extremely important. So
Right.
this is my 2 cents.
Robert Lee said, I just got rejected from a job for not having AD experience. This is very important to know for entry level and analyst positions. Yes, Robert, and that's why Kevin is doing it. And I'm joining it. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm a big fan of Kevin. He captured his whole IT journey. I was following Kevin when he first got into IT, and he got on LinkedIn, he got on YouTube, and when he learned something, he would make a YouTube video. Like, Kevin, that was awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I try to make it as realistic as I possibly can because, and also it's on YouTube, it's free. So like I understand that a lot of people that are brand new to IT, they're trying to get free education, and I would never want you to pay $10,000 on a boot camp, right? It's just doesn't make any sense. It drives me crazy. Boot camps drive me crazy.
Yeah, and they're teaching the same thing Kevin is they're giving you the same material that Kevin is giving you for free. So I don't understand, I understand if they was giving you something totally different, proprietary, you could get nowhere, but they give you the same information you could Google. So that's one thing I got a problem with. But yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so as you can see here, it says Kevtech on it. That means it's actually on the domain controller. It's on the domain. Like if it has the name like this, it's actually joined to the domain and everything. The very important thing here is it says sign into Kevtech. So I set it up, the domain controller. Now it says sign into Kevtech. And you will see this like in a job environment when you have a Windows 10 machine. It should say sign into blah, blah, blah domain controller, right? That's important. The other important thing here is the bottom part right. There's actually a button right here. And I think, Roger, I know it's fundamentals, but like I like to cover this because you click on it, gives you more information. So actually here, it tells you the domain name / domain users to sign into another domain. Says the name right here, the local username to sign in, PC, not a domain. So that's very important. If you click on this, it gives you more information. And sometimes, if you work IT support, knowing this screen here is very important, especially when you're working with a customer over the phone. It's extremely important that you understand what the screen is, if that makes sense. Very important. So I'm just going to sign in right now. We're almost done with today's class, guys. I don't want to bore you guys to death. I have another class I got to do later on today. I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, I got people asking some good questions here.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know if they're using ChatGPT and Googling what's a good question to ask Professor Roger. There's some good questions here.
So you guys saw that I set up Active Directory, right? Like literally, it's right here now. So Active Directory using computers. Don't be scared. Like people get scared of Active Directory. I know it's a lot of information, but don't be scared of Active Directory. You can learn it. Like anyone can learn IT. I feel like people downplay their confidence, right? You could definitely learn IT. Look at this. This is kevtech.com domain, right? And Roger, I'm not gonna go over this today, but you know, we get to a whole conversation on organizational units,
Yes.
creating user accounts, all that good stuff. I just want to show people how a domain controller looks,
Yes.
how it's set up with Active Directory users and computers. And next week we'll do another class, and we'll cover like creating a user account, password reset, account creation, joining a PC to the domain, yada yada yada, and stuff like that. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, that's critical. Make sure you guys are here next week, same time, right?
Yep, same time.
2 p.m. Eastern, because it's, learning how to set it up is cool, but learning how to operate and function, that's going to be your job. User account management, right, is going to be your job, the majority of your job. So it's very important you come next week so you can understand how user accounts work.
Yep. No, let's answer some questions, Roger.
Okay, yeah, let's go back. See what's going on here. Okay. So I tagged some, I don't know if you can see that on your end, Kevin, but I tagged some to answer live. So one, is group policy administration a subset of AD? And what exactly does it do? You want me to answer that or you got it?
Yeah, so group policy, it is part of it's part of group policy is part of server manager. So if you're an IT support person, you may have access to group policy, you may not. It really depends on the company. Group policy allows you to make changes on a person's PC. It does more than that, obviously, but like I'll give you a real life example, right? And I give everyone here a real life example. Roger, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys have you guys ever gone to the library and you see every computer you log into in the library has the same wallpaper, right? The same background and wallpaper. How is that done? That's done through group policy. So actually, when you do group policy, you could actually make changes like the wallpaper. You can map printers. You can do a bunch of stuff on group policy. So it's actually very important to understand how that works, especially if you're trying to do more of these senior level roles. If you're trying to be like a sysadmin or something like that, it's extremely important. I don't know if you want to add any more information to that, Roger, but group policy is very important to understand.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very important, like Kevin said, and basically it's just for me to centralize on standards. I mean, to centralize changes, configurations, and restrictions. Right. So for an enterprise environment, right, a corporate environment, I have 1,000 or 2,000 machines. I can't go to each one and configure a restriction. So, I mean, I can, but that would take forever. But I could, in Active Directory using group policy, I could make one policy one time and push it to all my machines. So when those machines log into the domain, they will get all my restrictions. And if somebody changes it for some reason, when they log back on again, they will get my changes. So it really saves a lot of time and keeps everything standard.
Yep. What was the other question?
Okay, hold on. I was just answering a question here. All right, here's some more questions. Boom. Okay, I have a question from Aaron. Is when you are organizing your Active Directory OUs, do you prioritize location first, or do you start with user, computers, groups, servers, and then organize by location? Now, Aaron, that's a good question. We're going to answer that next week. That question is going to take some time. So we're going to answer that next week. Kevin, you okay with that?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. But that's a good question, Aaron.
Good question.
Save
Yep.
this question for next week when we start talking about going over users and OUs and all that.
Yep.
Okay. Another question by I'm hoping I'm saying everybody's name right. Excuse me if I'm not. Mutuma, right? He asks, or they ask, is Active Directory the same as ACL? No. Active Directory is a database of accounts. It's a database of corporate resources, users, computers, printers, right? Like that, those resource servers. You're going to see next week when we do a deeper dive into it. ACL is just authorization or permissions to those resources. So they're not the same. Okay. It's another question, Kevin. In an enterprise environment, how are the domain admin passwords managed?
So that's a very good question. It really depends on the company. If some companies, Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, some companies use a third-party tool like Secret Server. Not sure if you heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Secret Server basically has two-factor authentication. You log in as yourself, and passwords are managed on that. It's like a database of passwords with managing passwords on that. I'm not sure how your company has it set up, Roger, but in my previous jobs, they all have a secret server they log into, and the passwords are managed in there.
Yes. At Microsoft, we use what is called Authenticator, right? We have a password list environment. We don't have passwords. We use what is called Authenticator, and you have to, and your guys probably seen this because Google also has it too, where it will send you a message saying, hey, someone's trying to log in. Do you approve it or not? Right? That is called password list. Microsoft, Google, and some other companies got together. They formed an alliance called FIDO, F-I-D-O alliance, and they worked together to build this password-less world. Right? When you guys have a chance, look up FIDO Alliance and just be familiar with the future of passwords. Passwords are dead. Passwords do not protect anything. Never did. Right? But that was the best thing we had at that time. Today is a real solution. Passwordless combined with multi-factor authentication makes it secure. So now let's go back to domain admin. Domain admin has the keys to the kingdom. Kevin right now is the domain admin. Oh, he closed the screen. I was going to have him show you that. But Kevin, he is now the domain admin. He controls everything in the Active Directory domain, everything in the corporation he controls. If his account or his password gets compromised, then whoever has his password controls everything. So domain admin password has to be audited and treated as such, right? A lot of companies don't. So, Kevin mentioned, he said, you said,
It's a Secret Server.
yeah, Secret Server by IBM. Is it the one by IBM?
Titanic server or
Oh,
Titanic?
Titanic, right, right.
Yeah.
So what that is called is PAM, Privileged Access Management, where, I mean, the technology is called PAM.
Mm-hmm.
The solution they're using is Secret Server, or the product they're using, but the solution is called PAM, Privileged Access Management. And that's to make sure we audit and control who has privilege or not. The concept is called least privilege. This is a concept you need to know in cybersecurity. Concept is called least privilege. So Kevin is a domain admin. I want to make sure he only has privileges that he needs to do his job. And then if he does, I'm going to audit the hell out of him. I'm going to watch him closely. I'm going to log every time he logs in, every time he logs out. How long was he on these systems? How I'm going to change his password every 30 days, right? I'm going to set up rules to make sure that, he's safe and we are safe as the company, right? So that's privileged access management. That's a new, kind of fairly new in the last 5 years. So that's something you guys should be familiar with.
Yep.
So on high critical accounts like domain admin, we are very strict on them.
Yeah, let's see another question. Someone was asking about AD. Is AD important for cybersecurity for SOC analyst role?
Knowing AD means yes, because AD, everybody needs to know AD, actually. So as a SOC, you need to know log in and log out. You're analyzing logs, you're analyzing movement, right? When people log in and log out. So if Kevin went on vacation and someone logged in at work, then that's a red flag. You wouldn't know that if you don't know Active Directory. Now, you don't need to know it at an engineer level, but you need to know the fundamentals.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was another question. Another question is Professor Roger. What is the recommendations of training search for system admin roles?
Oh, what training search, he said?
Yeah, what training / search for system admin roles?
Oh, for sysadmins. Okay,
Yep.
so search for that is, it depends what sysadmin, since we're talking about Active Directory, I'm going to say Microsoft. You want to get the Microsoft certs, especially the server certs, right? So Microsoft has 2 certs. Everybody's moving to the cloud, so you want to get your Azure, right? You want to start off with your AZ. There's an AZ 900. Start up and do that track. That's for the cloud part. Then there's something called, then you want to do the SC, which is the security part. So a sysadmin today is cloud-based, right? When me and Kevin started, well, I'm older than Kevin, but when I started, it was on premise, right? There's really no more, well, there is on premise, but everybody's moving to the cloud. So you want to make sure you know the cloud, right? You want to make sure you get Azure or AWS experience as a sysadmin. Did that answer the question, Kevin?
No, that answers the question. Yeah, and I would say like do research where you live, because certs are different where you live, depending where you live, what state you live in.
Exactly. This is international. Yeah, exactly. So make sure that, I'm giving you advice based on America, but research where you live also, right? Thank you, Kevin.
Yep. I see some questions here that are specific to you. It says, hey, Roger, I graduated with a bachelor's in cybersecurity. I'm currently studying for Security Plus certification and have about a year of experience in Helpdesk. Is there more required to land a job in cybersecurity? Question mark.
He said he had what again?
I graduated with a bachelor's in cybersecurity, and I'm
Oh.
currently studying Security Plus certification, and I have about a year in Helpdesk.
Okay. He's trying to get into cybersecurity.
Yep.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Yes, Sec Plus is the first cert you should get. Yes, most definitely. Now there's another cert that just popped up by ISC Square. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Actually, let me see if I find the link. I'm doing a workshop on that every Wednesday. And it's called Certified in Security. No, Certified in Cybersecurity, right? And they're offering it for free. So I recommend everybody getting the cybersecurity, go get this cert before they start charging for it, right? They want 1 million people certified, so they're doing this big campaign push. Let me see if I can get the link.
Oh, I know what certification you're talking about. It's a beginner certification for someone brand new breaking into security. They have some good certificate. They have like the CISSP, is that right?
Yeah. They hold the holy grail in cybersecurity certification, the CISSP.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put the link in the chat for that. And then if you guys, that's a link for the ISC Squared. That's the cert you should get before your Security Plus, right? It will help you on your Security Plus journey.
Yeah, I'm just
How are we doing on time?
We still have time.
Okay.
I'm just answering questions right now.
Cool. Let's see. Oh, all right. Let me know what question you up to.
Some of them I can't mark down because you answered them already.
Okay.
I can't click on it because this is answered by you.
Yeah, good. I was trying to answer them as we go along. Oh yeah, I see. Robert said he paid $20K for a boot camp. Wow, Robert.
That's not good.
Yeah, $20K. You know what 20K could have got you? Robert, if you gave me 20K, I would have not only rode to your house every day, trained you, then I would have drove you to the interview. I would have did the interview for you, got you hired, and I would have drove you to work every day. That's what you got from me for 20,000. But yeah, man, that's 20,000, and they still don't guarantee you a job. That's sad. Because the whole point is to get you guys working. The point is not to teach you information that you could get anywhere. All right, let's see.
Yeah, I'm just answering the questions. I'm answering some people's questions through chat.
Yeah, good. Let me see. Kevin, you mentioned earlier about AMD. Can you in a sense miss and match? No, you can't miss and match.
Can't miss and match.
AMD and Intel. Those are two different manufacturers and they're proprietary. So unfortunately, they don't mix. You can't take an Intel CPU and put it on an AMD board. Obviously, they fierce competitors, right? So it's like Coke and Pepsi. You can't take Coke and pour it in a Pepsi bottle, right? So unfortunately, no, you can't mix the parts. Where did I answer that? I should have marked that. No.
I marked it already.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm marking them. I'm marking some of them as we answer them.
All right, let me go on some more. I'll answer some live while you.
And if you guys are asking for the recording, it's gonna be on Discord, on my Discord, and I'm not sure if Roger wants me to put it on his Discord, but it should be on my Discord. Yeah,
you could put it on mine too, and I'm gonna link to your stuff also. When Akash And so when having multiple DC, is it possible to have a lead DC and a branch into others? Okay, I think what you're saying is it possible to have a lead DC? So yes, and branch into others. Yes, it's called replication. So you will have multiple domain controllers, and these domain controllers act as a multi-master, where if one goes down, the other one could take the load and no one would know. The end user will not know the difference. Unless, of course, there's a difference in connectivity. Like one DC might have very high internet connectivity, while another DC might be in another site that has low connectivity. So yeah, there might be performance issues, but the both DCs can act the same. So that's called replication and high availability. Those are the technical terms.
Yeah, just mark it as answer. I'm trying to.
Oh, okay, cool.
If you see it, because I can't mark it as an answer. If you took it already, I can't mark it. Won't let me. So.
Oh, is AD used in cybersecurity specifically in a SOC? Oh, we answered that one.
To mark that one. Yep.
Yeah, it's enterprise environment. How are the domain? Oh, okay, we answered that. Oh, I didn't know you couldn't.
No, it doesn't let me do it because you took
Okay.
ownership of it.
Oh, I thought we're same. Okay. Okay, what is another by Johnson? Oh, here it is. Olufemi. Olufemi. I hope I'm saying your name right. In an enterprise, in an enterprise, does an admin need to have different account in the main account and separate account? Yes. In an enterprise, the domain admin would not be his user account. So he'll have a regular user account where he logs in and checks his mail and stuff like that. Then he'll have a domain admin account where he will use to do domain admin job functions. Yes, I have two accounts, right? That's the practice of today. Separate both accounts. So if hackers get Kevin A at kevtech.com, that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but they won't get any domain access privilege if they just hack his regular user account. And we'll show you that when we come back at our next sessions.
Yep.
All right, I'll type that as.
Yeah, we have like 20 questions, 19 now.
Okay.
Almost
How do you
done.
back up and restore Active Directory? Right, Active Directory has a special backup process that in Active Directory you would do. Also, companies will have, on top of that, companies will have their own virtual environment backup. Right? So Active Directory will have its own backup, and then on top of that, the server will be backed up in its own virtual environment backup. So the VMware administrators or the virtual environment administrators and engineers, they will back up the whole virtual environment. It takes longer to restore, so that's why in AD we do our own database backup. So we can restore the database quickly than waiting for the backup administrators to get the image and, to do their job, which might take hours. Right, good question. Charles asks, what is the relationship between OU and AD? AD is the database, OU is how to organize the resources in the database. So if I have 5,000 users, I don't technically need an OU, but to organize and to manage those users and to put GPOs or group policies on those users, I might want to do OUs like sales or marketing OU. So because the sales and marketing has two different permissions, I might want to make an IT OU because IT has lesser permissions, or I mean, lesser restrictions than everybody else. So the OU is used to separate levels of restrictions. Think of it that way. And we'll talk about that next week when we go deeper into it.
Yep.
Then he said, also, does GPU and PAM work hand in hand? PAM is the solution, it's the overarching technology. GPO is just a solution in that technology. Okay, and we'll talk about that work. So working hand in hand, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't need GPO for PAM. Right. So GPO is just a solution in the whole PAM ecosphere, right? Ecosystem.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, because you need by default, group policy by default domain controller out of the box does not have account lockout set up or any of the other stuff, which we'll go over next week.
Right,
So.
exactly. All right, let's see. All right, I see some CERT questions. I'm gonna go over OU questions first. Oh, can you show how to turn on AD trash next session? Yes, we can, Aaron.
Yep. Should I do that?
Yeah, I see Aaron has some AD experience. Okay, Aaron, sure.
I actually went over that on one of my videos.
Oh, good. Yeah, send them a link to that too.
Yeah, we'll go over that next week. That's actually my playlist, my Helpdesk playlist. I cover how to set up AD trash bin and a bunch of other stuff. So
cool. So
almost done.
Yes. All right. Johnson, did I answer this? What could you do to protect an admin account that could not integrate into MFA? What? That's crazy. I don't know. What are you using? What are you like? XP? Windows XP? Like, but I understand some companies are still on legacy, right? You know, I'm just joking, but actually there's 30% of Windows installed products are Windows 7. So Windows 7 is still out there. You know, 15% are XP. They're still out there. So yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. You still will see outdated products or outdated operating systems because and I don't want to sound bad, but like some people do not want to, the software developers do not want to upgrade a certain product. So it's only supported by Windows 7 or Windows XP. And those particular products are not on the network. Like the computer is not on the network, it's offline because that's a security risk. So
right. Yeah, that's true. So what would you do in that case, right? A couple of things there's still things you could do to secure it as best as you can, right? One is you separate the accounts. So there's a user account and an admin account. You separate those two. When the actual admin wants to do admin work, he uses his admin account. When he wants to do user, like his basic user stuff, checking his email and all that, he logs in as his user. That's one way to do it. The second way to do it is to set up what is called password policies, where his password will be, let's say, for example, the normal user is 8 characters. An admin will be 15 characters or 16 characters password, right? Another thing you could do is you have a password policy that they have to change their password every 30 days, right? So, you know, you put more restrictions on, more group policies on it, So that way we can secure it as best as we can, right? But the best way is MFA, to utilize PAM and do MFA like how Kevin does at his job.
Yeah, Johnson was asking a question. He said, that's it, no, nothing more advanced. He's asking.
Ooh,
That he was asking about the MFA question that we just answered. He said, oh, that's it, nothing else, nothing more advanced.
well, for legacy, yeah, there's really nothing else you can do.
Okay, he said, okay, thank you.
Yeah, for legacy.
Okay.
For real accounts, no, you do PAM. All right.
And then Charles says, thank you, Kevin and Professor Rogers. All right, we got 13 questions.
Okay, I'll go through. Which ones here? Oh,
Then John Kim, you answered already.
okay, where's that at? You said John. Oh, John Kim, I see right here. Okay.
You answered that question already for Security Plus.
Yeah, I answered that. Hello, Professor Roger. May you please reiterate what beginner search you need? Okay. Let me make sure there's no more AD questions before I start. Here's one by Jared. Is Active Directory a huge portion within cybersecurity roles? Yes.
Yes.
Active Directory is part of a couple of things. It's part of IAM, which Kevin is part of, and then it's also part of PAM. Those are two arching technologies. In those technologies, there's a lot of job roles, there's a lot of security solutions, there's a lot of, products, everything within those overarching technologies. And those are part of cybersecurity. Though part of cybersecurity, which falls under the umbrella of access control. Right, Kev?
That is correct.
So yeah, so Active Directory is a big part of that. You can't have IAM without Active Directory. So yeah, very big part of cybersecurity. All right. Let's see, could you protect admin account? I answered that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're almost done with the questions.
Huh?
I said we're almost done with the questions.
Okay, good. Thato, can you also manage printers on AD?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, Kevin answered that. Yes. And we'll definitely show you that.
We don't like printers as far as IT is concerned.
Yes, definitely. All right, and transitioning. These are more career questions. All right, so now the rest of the questions are just career questions. Oh, we answered 113 questions, Kev.
Yep.
We're on fire. All right. All right, so I'll start with the career questions now. Someone asked, can we use Virtualbox to use Outlook Express? Not sure what you mean by that.
Yeah, I saw that question. I was confused about that. I'm like, what?
Yeah. We'll leave that alone. I'll just tell you. All right. Here it is. Here's one. How do you secure Active Directory against unauthorized access or attacks? Very good question. Active Directory gets attacked a lot. There's a lot of attacks against it. So how do you secure it? There's not one answer, right? It's like a myriad of defense in depth. It's a myriad of training and education. We'll go through that as we're going through these sessions. We'll sprinkle a little cybersecurity in it. So, we'll talk about the different attacks that could be done to user accounts and all that stuff. All right.
Yeah, there's like so many variables and so many attacks
Yeah,
you can do. So it's just like that question's hard to answer because every environment is different too. So
right. But the answer to that is that you need a security team, right? That's educated on that. You need uh, threat intelligent analysts that go and look in the field for new threats, and then come back and work with the engineers to protect against those, right?
mhm.
So yeah. So Kevin and Roger, I noticed I don't have all the features in Active Directory in my VirtualBox when it comes to resetting passwords. Is there a limitation? No, there's no limitation on VirtualBox has nothing to do with your server. So it might be something on your server, right? Or
Yep.
the user account
Permissions.
yeah. So we could probably review that. All right. I am currently in a security analyst boot camp. Oh, okay, Greg.
Nice.
And hold Sec Plus. Very good. Congratulations. How
Nice.
important is CISA Plus? CISA Plus is very important, but let me give you some words of advice, Greg. Get a job. Before you get another cert, get a goddamn job. I don't know, people make a lot of money on you not working. You can understand this, Gregory. Like your boot camp made a lot of money off of you being unemployed, right? And that's cool. They gave you training and everything. They're going to sell you more training, and that's okay. This is a capitalist society. They're a for-profit company, so they have rights to make money, right? But what is your goal? To get a job. Security Plus is enough for you to get an entry-level job, an entry-level cybersecurity job. Start looking for a job. Stop chasing certs. Certs don't make you better if you're not working. You forget all that information. So you're going to chase CISA, and now you're going to forget Security Plus. All right. So get a job so you could get some real world experience, and you could get, and now that you're working, Greg, a company could pay for your CISA and pay for your CISA training, right? Because now you're an employee. So now they could pay for your training. Companies pay for your training. So my advice to you is, so wait, I'm going to answer your question first. CISA is very important. CISA gets you to what is called level 2. And cybersecurity, jobs are broken into levels. Kevin, what level would you consider you are in cybersecurity?
I think level 2 is a senior position. There's a lot of stuff. Oh my goodness.
Right. So you like level 3,
Yeah.
right? So Kevin is level 3, right? CISA is for level 2 to get to level 2. So Sec Plus is level 1, CISA is level 2. But you don't even have level 1 yet, Greg. So get a job, get a level 1 job, then work on your CISA. That is my advice. But CISA, yes, is very important. And in the government, some jobs is mandatory. You have this cert. Okay. And let me give you the guys the link. And when I say government, I mean US government. Let me give you the link.
Yeah, like we're not like me and Roger, we don't try to push certifications, but like some
Yes,
jobs you need it, unfortunately.
yes, some jobs you need it. So, and there's nothing wrong with certifications, but the whole purpose of certifications is to get a job.
Yep.
So that's it. So if that cert is not getting you a job, it's okay to get it, but no, some people get certs just for bragging rights. All right. So I put a link of what the government requires you to get. All right. And a lot of private sector companies follow suit with that. All right, cool. I hope that answered your question, Greg. I hope that advice is timely. All right, Jason, I'm transitioning into tech. I have a Sec Plus. Congratulations, Jay. Almost finished with Google IT support, good, Qualys QA, and the ISC new cert you mentioned. I'm looking to step into PCI DSS field. Could you outline what would you do if you were me? Jamaican living in Japan. Wow, first of all, Jamaican living in Japan, that means you getting jerk sushi. I like that. No. Okay. So you're looking to get into the PCI DSS field. Look at their certs. They have certs that are now out in the PCI. Look at that. You didn't say if you're working or not. If you are working, good, you can get your job to pay for it. But they do have some certs for the PCI DSS. That's a great field to be in because a lot of companies are getting slammed for not being compliant. So you could go and help in that regard. Yeah, but I see you on a good track. You got Qualys, which is a great cybersecurity solution product. Right, Google IT support. Not sure if you need that, but well, that's cool. If you're taking it, you're almost finished. Cool. But yeah.
Yeah, Qualms has free training too. I'm gonna put it in chat.
Yeah. Qualys has free training and PCI DSS has training. I don't know how much free training they have, but they do have training and certifications. Right, because they're trying to get people like you, Jason, to get into PCI.
And that's I'm not sure if you follow Boy Lewis. That's his niche. So his niche is PCI compliance. That's what he focuses on.
Boyd, right? Exactly.
Yep. So now next question. I think you answered that one, right? The other one?
Yeah, did you mark it?
Oh, I can't mark it. Remember, you gotta mark it.
Oh, I thought I marked it. Let's see what I'm on. Okay. Let me see where that was at. Oh, all right. Oh, he said not working. Okay. Okay. And again, same thing with you, Jason. Get a job. Don't get too many certs. Okay. I mean, certs are cool. I know people with 19 certs, and they come to the interview. They think they're going to get the interview because they have 19 certs, but they have no skill. So, I mean, so yeah, certs are important. Certs get you to the interview, but skills get you hired. So don't get that confused, guys. Get the cert you need to get the job. And every time you level up, you get the certs you need to level up. All right. Hello, Professor Roger. May you please, and this is from Bolaji. Hello, Professor Roger. May you please reiterate. Oh, I did that one already. All right. If I am new to IT, where should I start with Google IT support or CompTIA? Yeah, that's a good question. Google IT support is a fairly new cert. And remember, it's more catered to Helpdesk, but A+ is catered to you learning what to do once it's a more technical exam. So I would say get your A+. You could get both. The Google is free. Start with that. Start with the Google. and then start working towards your A+. The materials for A+ is free. Kevin does a great job on it. Professor Messer, there's free materials out there. You shouldn't have to pay to get fundamental exams. You shouldn't have to pay for that. I mean, fundamental training. Yeah, the exam isn't free, but the training should be free. YouTube University. Kevin is a guru in YouTube University. So follow Kevin and his stuff, right, Kevin? You got a lot of stuff on.
Yeah, I'm making video. I'm gonna start making videos on A+ stuff as well, because I got the blessing from Professor Messer to make, not Professor Messer, sorry, Mike Myers, to make videos on that. So
Oh, great, cool.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So now it says, yep. Can I get into IAM, Active Directory, or Asset Management without a degree? Yes. You do not need a degree to be an engineer. The only time you need a degree in cybersecurity is for management. And that's because that's just the company's policies, right? So if you're going to go to college for management. So that way, when you get to the management level, level 4, level 5, right? You have that college degree, so that way you can get past their requirements. A lot of companies, the requirement for management is college, especially upper management. So, but you don't need a degree at the level you at now, Al-Hajji. So get working, right? All right. How important are identity asset management and IT support? It's important, but identity assets management, like Kevin, they have their own job roles, which is above IT support. All right, cool. I hope I answered that right, Kevin.
Yeah, you got more questions now.
All right, we keep moving. Once VM, Ryan asks, once VM and AD are set up, how is the best way to find ways to practice using it? Oh, good question, right? I got it all set up. I follow Kevin's stuff, right? The way to set it up now is you can Google for some AD labs, and you could kind of do that, right? Just to keep practice.
Yeah, I have a playlist too of help desk stuff.
Good.
So,
All right. I have, this is Nathan. I have more of a community participation question. How do you all keep up with your different channels you subscribe and participate to? Oh my God. Ryan, I'm Nathan. It's a part-time job, for real. It is hard to keep up, but you know, it's passion is a big part of it, right, Kev? It's our passion to keep us up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I'd be texting Kevin at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and he answers back. So it's that passion, right? That's really how we keep it up. And then we have help. So anybody wants to volunteer to help out Kevin, to help out me, and just to keep our different Discord and stuff, we need help too, right?
Yep.
Right. So, you know, a shout out to all the volunteers that help out, especially Kevin.
Yeah, so many volunteers that help so much. I appreciate them a lot.
Definitely. All right. Okay, I answered that. And thank you, Nathan, for that. I got Mutuma. Thank you for this webinar, Kevin and Professor. I'm really grateful. I am a system administrator and working towards moving to cybersecurity. I'm interested in SOC and bug hunting. I think it means bug bounty. What are the best certifications to take, as I am currently preparing for AWS Cloud, CompTIA Security Plus, CISA PIN? Yeah, that's it.
Oh my goodness.
No, you don't need any other. Get a job. Then others will come as you move up. Okay, as you move up the levels. But you got the basic certs. AW Cloud, beautiful. CompTIA Security Plus, give you the fundamentals in cybersecurity, beautiful, right? Get those two, get a job, then go for your CISA. If you're looking to be on the red team, which is a pen tester, take your pen test, right? If you like the cloud, go cloud security. Follow that track and go cloud security. So I will say this, AWS Cloud, Security Plus, then cloud security. You don't even really need CISA. I'll go straight to cloud security if I was you.
Yep.
Right? AWS Cloud Security.
And AWS has free training online. You just gotta look for it.
Yes, it definitely does. All right. So, and good luck. Bernard asks, please, Professor, what other areas of focus for an aspiring cybersecurity analyst? Okay, there's cybersecurity as an industry is huge. It has blown up, right? I mean, there's different parts. There's pen testing, there's SOC, there's IAM that Kevin's in. There's, so there's different areas you could get into. So I say the first thing is to find out what area, what discipline you want to be a part of, right? What cybersecurity.
I have a website, by the way. It's on my profile page on LinkedIn. I have a website that was created by me and a bunch of cybersecurity experts, and it's called Career Pathways to Cybersecurity and how to break into cybersecurity with home labs and everything.
Exactly. Put that in the put your LinkedIn in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in chat. So it's called cyberhuntingguide.net. I put it on your Discord before.
Yeah,
Definitely recommend looking at that. Then what I'm gonna do is in chat on Zoom, I'm gonna put my profile and I'm gonna put Professor Rogers' profile as well, just so you guys know who we are. And obviously, if you want to connect, you can for today.
Yes, yes. And I see people connecting to me already on LinkedIn. So I appreciate
there we go. Yeah, me and Roger, like I didn't know how this was gonna turn out today, but we have good chemistry together apparently.
Oh yeah, man. We New Yorkers, man.
Oh man. All right, a couple more questions to answer. We're almost done.
Okay, cool. Let me see. El Haji asks another question. Last question. I'm trying to learn Azure or AWS. Do you think that passing the Google or the A+ cert is a good first step before getting into Azure? Okay, yeah, it's good. The cloud is totally different.
Yeah, it's different.
Good to know the fundamentals of PC and all that, because at the end of the day, that's what you're building in the cloud. But the cloud is a platform to build. So think of the cloud like your desk. And then you put your PC on the desk. You don't have to know about PCs to build a desk. But it'd be good to know because, that's what the desk is for. But so the cloud is a platform. So yeah, it'd be good to know A+ and good to know about PCs and compute power and all that. What is RAM? What is hard drive? What is all that? That's very good to know, right?
Yep.
And that will help you on your journey to the cloud. But, so I say learn it. If you had to learn one thing first, learn your A+, then get to the cloud, right? But you don't need an A+ cert. So if you go in cloud, all right. And El Haji, thank you for all your questions. Bernard, please, Professor, what are the areas of focus for aspiring cybersecurity analysts? Right, and I think I answered that. First, you got to know what you want to do in cybersecurity, then come back and ask me that question specifically to what discipline you want to be a part of, because that is a big question right there. Right, what would you say? Michael asks, what would you say the ISC Cyber Cert is equivalent to the Security Plus? No, it's below the Security Plus. So I say for all beginners, the Security Plus is a hard exam, especially
Yes,
for beginners.
yes, it's very hard.
It's very hard for beginners, right? And ISC Squared realized that there's no gap in between. So they made a cert to kind of meet you halfway, right, in your studies. So that cert is for newbies so that they could adjust to cybersecurity easier than going straight for Security Plus. All right.
Cool.
So no, it's not equivalent to Security Plus. Johnson, please, could you explain how this old applications couldn't MFA, but upon migration to cloud, they are now able to MFA? Yes, I'm going to explain it real quick. Right, a layman's term. The cloud is a platform, and the cloud controls everything there. Your application is just, it uses that platform, right, to connect to their end user. So the application might not be able to do MFA, but the cloud platform is able to do MFA. That's why companies go to the cloud, because they don't have the resources or the money to use the latest technology. So I'm going to go to Azure, which uses the latest technology, and then load my app there, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think, Kevin? I answered it?
Makes sense.
Jason, I'm unemployed, almost homeless, and trying to transition over. I know Boyd C. Lewis, and I'm trying to get something like yesterday. Would you add anything else based on the context added? Okay, Jason, first thing first, get a job. It's hard to study or to do anything when you're desperate, right? When you need to eat, when you need to survive. Get a job first, any job. Work at McDonald's, anything. Get yourself money, get yourself where you are stable enough where you could start to study and start to concentrate on that. Once you're at that level, then, in the meanwhile, yes, we're going to give you resources and everything. But my advice to you is it's going to be hard to study when you have all that pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Try to get some of that pressure off of you. That's just my advice to you. I've been there, so I'm telling you from experience. And good luck on your journey, Jason. There's a lot of resources out there. You could always reach out to me and Kev to talk more.
Yep.
Shirley, yes, a woman. I'm like, where are the women at? Right? Shirley, welcome, and I'm glad you're here. Right, we need more women in IT, so I'm glad you're here.
Yep.
What search would you suggest if I were targeting big IP at F5.com? Oh, shoot. Okay, Shirley. Well, F5.com has their own search.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're doing them for free now. So
Yes.
Look on their sites. They have their own search, Shirley. Right, cool. Targeting big IP. Lufimi said I can volunteer. Sure, reach out to us on LinkedIn. All right.
Yep.
Charles. Ooh. Okay, you gotta answer that. And Charles, I'm willing to help out too. Thank you, Charles. Reach out to LinkedIn. Michael said thank you, and Jason said thank you. Okay, what? We did it.
Answer 139 questions?
Okay, we got one more and that's it. Gabriel, he snuck it in. My laptop says I have 170 of free space out of a total of 237. Is that enough to run my home lab? Yes.
Yes.
It's enough to start a home lab. I suggest you should try to get an external hard drive. If you look on my Discord, I tell you which one is specific. You have to have one that runs at USB-C. That's the fastest speed, because if it runs too slow, the virtual machine will freak out. Right? Just like
Yeah, your VM will have a heart attack.
yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes. So I have it on my Discord. It tells you exactly what and get a minimum 500 gigs. All right. Oh, okay, cool. All right, that's it.
Yeah, looks like we're done. Questions?
That is, we did it. I didn't know this webinar is crazy.
A lot of people.
Yes.
All right, guys. Roger, thank you again for being here with me today. Same time, 2 p.m. next week. We'll go over Active Directory a little bit. Try to join PC to a domain and answer some more questions. We're on Discord too, so if you want, just come by Discord. I'm gonna wrap it up. Roger, you have anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Kev, for letting me be your assistant.
Thank you for helping me today as well. I appreciate it, Roger.
Always.
All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful Saturday. I'll give you back your time and day.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you.